My first thought of somebody having cancer is that they're gonna die. So it was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. My name is Nazea Twiggs, I'm 15. And I like playing video games, I guess.
He had a total knee replacement because that's where the tumor initially started in his right leg. He's had 50 tumors removed from his lungs.
He was on the basketball team, he was on the football team, you know, things that a father wait for. And then it just all stopped. You know what I mean? We replaced basketball and football for chemo and CHKD.
I honestly felt like at a complete loss, because here's this kid with this progressive metastatic osteosarcoma who is, you know, potentially nearing the end of his life, and I am taking over his care. You know, his dad doesn't say a word, not a word. And so I have no idea what's going on in his head. And you know he's sitting there thinking, and he's just in agony, but he won't actually share how he feels.
We definitely needed to have the conversation, but I was totally against it.
So I called Darnella and I said, you know, there's this game that like we'd like to come to your house and play. And I know that sounds completely crazy, but you've got to trust me.
My mom came home from work and said that the nurse and the doctor is coming to play a game that will probably really help us out.
So we just divided the cards up and put them out on like an ottoman that was right in front of him. And then we all had to take a card and we just went around the room with the questions.
Like one of the questions said, what would you want to do with your body after you died? I would actually want to be spread around the earth, like be everywhere, like spread some in the ocean, spread some in the air.
We all like teared up at some point. We all laughed at some point. I was really shocked how much we laughed. I've never gone to a home visit to have this kind of conversation about how the reality of the fact that this child is likely going to die of his disease. And he was the one that brought it up at the beginning. Because we were all like, well, we never know when we're going to die and all that. And he's like, yeah, but in this room, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the first. And so we were just honest. Yeah, we're worried about that too, Nazea.
Even though like we was having the conversation for Nazea's sake, it helped all of us because that's something I don't want to talk about that myself, you know what I mean?
I couldn't believe how much Stefan would share. I mean, I think I was most blown away by him because I'd hardly ever heard him speak because he just didn't talk much when he was here. And I mean, he got one of the questions about, you know, what would you carry with you to remember somebody? I can't remember the exact wording of the question, but he pulls out of his pocket a picture that's like laminated. There were two of them. He had all kinds of things in his pocket.
Well, look, I got this right here. This has been in my pocket since December 2010. This is a girl from my block that passed away named Kelly. And I got two of my dad that passed away too. So, you know, that's what it was. The question was how would I, you know, remember Nazea? And I was like, he'll be with me every day, you know? And then I showed him that. That was really surprising him.
He so cares about his own dad that he carries around a picture of him every day of his life. And I think for Nazea to watch him and be like, I'm not gonna be forgotten.
The game allowed us to have conversations that we wouldn't have had prior.
I didn't really want to have the conversation with him, you know, not at that time. It was just a lot going on, you know what I mean? But the game really, it helped a lot.
I learned more from playing that game with that family than I've ever learned, honestly. And the conversation I've had with the family is incredible, absolutely incredible. And then it let me know how to take care of it. What was important to the kid, what was important to the mom, and most importantly, what was important to this dad, who I previously had barely had a conversation with. And the fact that they're willing to share all that, you know, with their kid's doctor, you know, who's from a completely different background, different race, you know, and that they weren't threatened by that was fantastic. One of the best experiences ever of my career.